Welcome to SWUper Troopers. I'm BK with another best of one game. I'm playing Grand Moff Tarkin at Catacombs of Cadera, and Jim is playing Han Solo at Energy Conversion Lab. Jim won the die roll, so he'll have initiative, and we both kicked the game off by mulliganing our opening hands. After resourcing 2 cards from our second hand, Jim decides to pass his action over to me, and with that I'll play a TIE LN fighter. He's just a little guy, but Tarkin's gonna make him bigger. Over to Jim's action, he activates Han Solo's leader ability, so he'll place a temporary resource. Onto my next action, I activate my leader and give my TIE fighter an experience token, making it thick swole. On Jim's action, he plays the Millennium Falcon on turn 1. It's not a big deal. I claim the initiative, and he smashes into my TIE fighter with the Falcon, making sure it doesn't get any bigger with Grand Moff Tarkin. Onto the regroup phase, we draw, we resource 1 each, and then we move into turn 2. Jim has to defeat one of his resources, and then he decides not to pay the cost to keep the Millennium Falcon in play, so he lets that bounce back to his hand. Afterwards, I play Cell Block Guard as my first action on turn 2. Jim then reapplies his pressure by playing the Millennium Falcon once again. Afterwards, I take the initiative because I have no resources left, and he smashes into me for 3 points of damage on my base. Afterwards, once again, regroup phase, we draw, resource a card each, and move into turn 3. On my first action, I activate Grand Moff Tarkin and make my Cell Block Guard a little bit more swole. Jim then decides to attack with the Falcon once again, bringing me up to 6 damage on my base. I then pay in kind his damage by dealing him 4. Afterwards, he plays Ezra Bridger. Ezra can certainly generate Jim some impulsive card draw, so I definitely don't want him to complete many attacks. I play a second Cell Block Guard on my action, so I don't hate my position in the ground arena. Jim claims the initiative, and I play a Death Star Stormtrooper as a follow-up action. After that, we'll end the turn, regroup, draw, play a resource, and move into the next turn. On this turn, Jim pays the 1 resource to keep the Millennium Falcon in play, and for his first action, he attacks my 3/3 Cell Block Guard. Because Ezra's a 3/4, he takes 3 points of damage there, but he completed an attack, so his ability triggers and he keeps the card on top. I play a TIE Advanced as my next action, and put 2 experience tokens on my Death Star Stormtrooper, hedging my bets and not putting all my eggs into one basket. Jim hits me in the air with the Falcon, bringing me to 9. I activate Grand Moff Tarkin, throwing another experience token on my Cell Block Guard this time. He plays Bright Hope, and this will allow him to bounce Ezra back to his hand, and in doing so, he gets to draw the card that he kept on top. On my action, I use Grand Moff Tarkin's epic action to deploy him onto the battlefield. And afterwards, Jim decides to pass, and I have Grand Moff Tarkin move into the red zone, attacking Jim's base for 2 points of damage, and putting another experience token on my Death Star Stormtrooper. And again, not trying to put all the experience tokens on one thing and making a juicy waylay target. Jim activates Han Solo, putting a resource into play. I then attack with my Cell Block Guard and bring Jim up to 11 damage on his base. He decides to pass once again, so I'll swing in and deal 6 more points of damage with my Death Star Stormtrooper, bringing him to 17. He flips out Han Solo, deploying him onto the battlefield. Afterwards, I'll claim the initiative. Jim decides to attack here. Cell Block Guard's like, "What's up?" and takes the beats. Han gets marked with 5 points of damage, and the Cell Block Guard marked with 4. On the attack, Han allows him to throw a resource out. Jim then uses his ECL's epic action in order to ambush out a Greedo. So he'll have Greedo crash into the Cell Block Guard, finishing him off. They both die, and Greedo's when defeated ability will trigger, so Jim will flip over the top card of his deck, and unfortunately for him, it is a unit card, so he will not be able to deal 2 points of damage to a ground unit. We then regroup. Here we both resource for good measure, and my first action on turn 5 is to swing in with my Death Star Stormtrooper, attacking his base and bringing him up to 23 points of damage. That was just enough damage to put him in a pickle, and he did not draw an answer to the situation, so that makes me the winner. Tarkin was able to get carried away quickly, and poor draws had Jim on the back foot. We had fun though. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends!